Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to a new episode of the Mini Amira Show. On this podcast, we talk about life philosophy, spirituality, emotional wellness, and so much more. I'm your host, Amira Sookram, and the author of the Guilt-Free Goals book and upcoming book, Feelings-Based Living. If you are interested in learning more about that book and when it's going to come out, I recommend joining my flow notes, which are monthly and seasonal notes that will go into your inbox and give you a little update about energies and things that I would like to share outside of my Instagram and podcast. So this week I put a little poll on my Instagram stories asking people for suggestions for podcast episodes, and the one that stood out to me was about emotional regulation. So everything that I talk about with emotional literacy and emotional responsibility all have to do with, over time and as we walk this spiral staircase, regulating your emotions. It's not necessarily about regulating your emotions when you're in your own space, but it's about regulating your emotions when you are in relationship and with other people. So I think when we cultivate this safe space for ourselves, we have time to be emotionally dysregulated. And I think that we all need that in our lives. We need times where our emotions can come out and we can sit with them. Otherwise, we're never going to hit that emotional regulation in not like the most perfect way, but just in a state where we feel like we are cultivating healthy relationships. Without having those moments where we allow our emotions to come out in a very raw way, where maybe you're texting your friend and you're allowing yourself to rant all about this situation that is angering you. We need those times to share and we need those times to step into those emotions. Otherwise, it's going to bubble up beneath the surface and come out in a way that we don't want it to. So we need that time to be angry. We need that time to be sad. We need that time to sit in our own space and maybe feel numb or depressed. We need that time to be anxious and worried about things in our life because those things alert us to how we're really feeling and how we can allow our feelings to impact how we show up and act in the world. So, as I go through this podcast, we're going to be talking a lot about emotional wellness and emotional literacy, and all of these little gems lead to emotional regulation. But emotional regulation isn't something that we just have automatically. It's something that we have to cultivate over time. And in future podcast episodes, I'm going to talk more about nervous system regulation because to me, our emotions are processed through our nervous system, and how our nervous system health is really how we're going to show up emotionally in the world. So we'll be talking about that in future episodes. Before today and after that mini rant, I'm going into another mini rant of how to really sit with our emotions, we have to have community or relationship support. As much as we want to process our emotions and live in this individualistic society where we could take care of ourselves fully, we don't need to have our needs met by other people. We don't need other people. We could just be on our own and be okay. I don't think that that is the best way to process your emotions. I think that we all need people in our lives that we can speak to and cultivate a safe space or community to speak about what is going on within us. Especially when we feel like we need to fix relationships or please other people, a lot of that comes back to sitting within our community and allowing ourselves to receive as well. Because we can be the giver in relationships and we could just keep giving and giving and giving. But how reciprocal and how symbiotic is that relationship if we're not receiving as well? I want to remind us all that we need to find spaces and find people and find loved ones and love generally within relationships where we can talk about our emotions. This can be through having friends and a good close group of friends. It could be having singular friends in many different friend groups. It can be having a confidant, and it could be having a therapist or a counselor. You can maybe join like moon circles or women's circles, or just like entrepreneur groups or any sort of thing that you like a sports team, anything like that, where you have community support to process things in your life. And the processing doesn't necessarily have to be through talking to people. It can also be through doing artwork together, or again, playing sports or practicing yoga. There are so many ways that we can regulate our emotions that don't necessarily have to do with taking our words and putting our emotions into words with other people. So community support is super important, and I think that although we need to say like, "Hey, my feelings are valid," we also need other people around us to say, "Hey, your feelings are valid," because we can't just rely on self-validation. We also have to rely on validation from relationships. As humans, we are very relationship or community oriented. We need other people to survive. Belonging is just one of the basic needs in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And that's because relationships and this need to belong is very important to humans thriving. So if you want to thrive in your life, you need those relationships that you can lean on. And my personal belief is that this can't just be one type of relationship. This can't just be like, I have my romantic partner, they're my everything. This is it. Like, this is it. And I also can't be just like, I have my friends, I don't need any other type of relationship. I think that we need different types of relationships because each different type of relationship can teach us new things. And if you haven't explored having like depth within different relationships, this could be your little sign from the universe saying, like, hey, maybe you want to go deeper in a relationship with this person, and you can do that in a safe way that you cultivate. Not only do you cultivate it, but you also create, you co create with the universe relationships in your life that meet needs for you. So, this is my whole way of saying that yes, we need self validation, but we also need validation from our community. And we can do that through having confidants, through therapy, through having friends or teams or circles or just communities generally that we can lean on and be in. And that you can't just give to other people. I mean, you can try to, but at the end of the day, somebody's going to stop that giving when they realize that maybe this is not as reciprocal of a relationship, or you will want to stop giving so openly and so with so much love and open-heartedness that we just can't always just give to relationships. There has to be some reciprocity there. So open your heart to receiving. Open your heart to understanding that you can't just heal on your own. We need to heal within relationships because humans are innately relationship and communal based people. So that's it for this week. I wanted to leave you with a question as always, and that question is to think right now of one person in your life that you want to be more vulnerable or intimate with, and keep that person in your mind. Maybe practice a little heart opening meditation around this person and actively think of taking one step towards deepening that relationship with that person. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. Sending so much love and gratitude to you. That's it for this week. Bye.